Oh,
Oh
we need a
yeah,
checklist.
I gotta update the title stuff, but I'll do that once we kick in. Going live in.
Okay.
Okay, it's live. It's live. You feel that? Did you feel that? Okay, I'm gonna send out some tweets and stuff. Can let me share your screen, and can you give us a little intro?
Yeah. Tell me when.
When? Go now.
Okay. So, quick intro. This is the marathon results application that I did as a special project while working at St. Jude Children's Hospital. Every year they do their marathon, and marathon results are traditionally really ugly. They're just like a vanilla HTML web page with tables. So I took on the challenge of redesigning that experience to give people search functionality, mobile friendliness, you know, a delightful experience that you would want to search for your results on. So this is a React and NextJS app. Now, the problem is that since that project almost 2 years ago, the code is just out of date, and it's not, even though it was open sourced, it's not deployed anywhere that I have control over. So the original app was just on a CDN hosted at St. Jude. I want to open source this UI and deploy it on like Now and make it more generic so that it's not specific to one marathon. So we got to do a few updates to the project.
You got a checklist going already, right?
Yes. And this is what we're going to focus on tonight.
Can you blow that up for us?
Tell me when.
It's not changing for me. Hold on. I'm lagging kind of hard, so. That's good. I think that's okay. Do one more, you know?
For good measure.
Hold on, I need to grab my remote.
There, that's like...
That's what I was forgetting, my remote.
Every time.
I know, I had everything else ready to go. Well, I don't have the iPad set up. I got a real, real good setup tonight. I've got one of those like sitting hovering desks on my couch, and the laptop's on top of it. I feel like an 80-year-old man using the laptop.
Nice.
All right, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Dude, I thought we were already rolling.
I mean, we're live, but are you ready to start coding or whatever we're doing here?
Well, first, let's at least do a quick rundown of the checklist. So
yeah,
I have the app locally here. The architecture of all of this is really messed up. It needs its own like session. But for now, everything is under the UI folder. So what we're going to do is in that folder, we're going to update the dependencies. We're going to fix, there was one console error the last time I tried to run it locally. So we're going to fix that console error, make sure it looks just like what the CDN, the original version, had. It shouldn't take us too long to run this or get this code running locally and looking just like what's up in production. Once that's done locally, then, oh yeah, we may have to also reconnect some of the data, but I already have all the JSON data. That shouldn't be a problem. We just got to make sure it's connecting and loading. So dependencies, console error, JSON data. Once it's running locally, we'll publish it up on now.sh or Versal, I guess they call it now.
It's still now.sh, isn't it? Versal's just the company.
Okay. Well, we'll publish it up on here.
Or is it Vercel? Yeah, I'm confused with all the different names.
They've really messed with us by updating it, like
I don't have
all their products.
any sites up on now.sh yet. I just been launching my first site on Netlify, but otherwise I'm still a GitHub Pages kind of guy.
Yeah, I like GitHub Pages. I go back and forth. Versal's kind of cool for Next specific apps because I think it gives you like hooks and stuff that you could work with.
Yeah, or Heroku. I do Heroku sometimes too, but you know they have their sleeping apps. But yeah, these new platforms, I just feel like they have a lot of features that I'm unaware of. I like to try to keep things simple, you know?
No, I totally get you. Yeah, I did something on GitHub Pages the other day, and I loved it. It was really straightforward. I still feel like you have more scaling options with something like Versal. Like they're constantly working on giving you everything you need to grow. Whereas GitHub Pages, it's like, here's what you can do, take it or leave it. You have to have like a Node.js file and an index.html, and it has to follow these rules for GitHub Pages to work, which can be nice.
We tried to deploy this to GitHub Pages and we ran into the issues, right? With the underscore next folder or dot next folder or something like that.
Yeah, it didn't work as streamlined as we had hoped in GitHub Pages. So NextJS, if I remember correctly, there was something about like when some of our React components needed to run client side, GitHub Pages broke. Like I think it was the routing.
The problem was the underscore next folder, because GitHub Pages runs on Jekyll, and Jekyll treats underscore folders differently for some reason. So it wasn't allowing to load it there, which because that's how they store all their JavaScript and like static exports. So it wasn't able to load those things, I think.
That's right. Well, either way, we're not using GitHub Pages for this session. We're just going to deploy our next app to Versal.
We're gonna use it on the platform it was built for.
Yeah. So hopefully there's no guesswork here tonight. Okay.
So first, we're gonna fix a bug. Did you already get it running locally again, or?
Yeah. So this is good practice.
You blow this stuff up.
I know. Hold on. You know what I meant to do, but I don't want to get too sidetracked.
In VS Code, you could just do Command plus, can't you? Doesn't that blow the whole thing up?
No, you can. But instead, I want to set the default because then like new. Okay, hold on. So I saw a feature the other day. I don't know if you have seen this, but there's like a screen share mode where it defaults everything to zoomed in.
The presentation mode?
Yeah, but they called it something more unique when I was playing around with the settings. It was like streaming mode or something.
Yeah, but, see how they blow it up in streaming mode?
Yeah. But for now, I guess we have other things to worry about. So tell me when.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, you can shrink that sidebar down. It's a little too big.
So quick overview of the project architecture. We're not going to worry about any of these other folders. These all were just like a way for me to archive everything related to this project, but Scraper was a Node.js scraper to essentially fetch all the data from HTML tables for the marathon results. So every time a race publishes its results, the scraper code would go out and pull that data down into a clean JSON format for us to use. React Native was just a test run to try and reuse some React components in a native app. It's not even running, but we'll get to that someday, maybe.
Yeah, those are separate kind of projects, but you're saying it's all in this one repo?
Yeah. I was just kind of archiving everything to clean up my GitHub. So yeah, these should not be in one repo, but for now, we'll make do. Data, we may need to use this later, so let's make a note of that. The data folder was where I just like stashed all the JSON data for the races. I don't know that I have too much in here for other races, but I started working on the Dallas Marathon and expanding beyond the Memphis Marathon. But for tonight, if we need to, we may copy some JSON data out of this folder.
Okay.
And then API was an attempt at starting to migrate all the data to like an actual backend and not just stuffing all of our JSON data into the front end.
What is this monolith you have?
It's a mess.
It's a beast.
UI is all we care about for now.
I feel like this thing's bigger than my work app.
Really?
No, it's not, but just kidding.
Jerk. As a matter of fact, why don't we like just open up the UI folder?
Why don't we just go ahead and run this?
You see what I was talking about the other day? Every time I open up VS Code new, it puts source control at the top, even though I'm always moving it down every time.
I just have them take up the full length and just switch between them.
Yeah, well, you're not that efficient, are you, Chad?
You show both at the same time, is that why?
Yeah, I like having source control down here at the bottom.
Nah. I only switch to mine when I'm getting ready to like commit and I want to review, or if I just used it today, like when I just deleted a bunch of code in haste and then had to pull some back on accident. I refactored the shit out of one of our things today. I took out like 80% of the CSS that was dead.
Nice. I bet that felt good.
It felt good. I only messed up one part too. I was just going through, ripping out and just doing quick, like trying to find the use of it anywhere. If I didn't, I just ripped it out. But then I found one that I missed.
Are you just eyeballing the 80%, or did you actually measure like a reduction of 80% code?
No, I didn't measure it. I'm just 80% is probably an exaggeration. Could have been like 50%.
Oh, well, there's tools out there, you know, that like, I don't know how they work with modern frameworks, but there used to be tools when you used like vanilla CSS globally, it could tell you a percentage of your CSS code that's not being referenced.
Yeah, like a code coverage tool, but for CSS.
Yeah.
I'm not going that extreme. I went through kind of a performance audit or like a file size audit on my app recently, and we're using some dependencies that just kill it. So I decided to give up because we have to use this dependency and it takes up like so much of the app to the point where I'm like, I don't need, it's not even worth it to try to skim this thing down.
I thought I already had Next.
Why does your terminal have, when does it break every single time we go on stream? Do NPX, you don't have it global?
I guess not. NPX.
You could do NPX. Oh no, you can just do node run build. It's in the packages, right?
Yeah, but it's so I'm on my work computer, and it's saying Next is not installed.
Maybe you didn't install it there. If you have
Is
the
it
packages
NPX?
installed, you can do npm run build, and that's the shortcut to it there. But or you could do npx next build, but you might as well just do, or not.
But can I just go ahead and install the Next CLI?
Yeah, but npx will run it. You don't want that. You want npm.
Okay, so npm here. We'll do
Install -g.
this. 1 second. Hold on.
Next.
Hold on. So the global and next command, npm install -g, is it next CLI?
I don't know. I would guess so. You should look it up before you do it, though. Wow. You are bold. Next CLI at 1.0.0? I don't know. That sounds kind of sketch. Oh, you did the wrong one. Who knows what you just did to your computer?
It was worth a try. I live on the edge. What's the command for the installing the CLI?
It's what you just did, but it's the app next, not next CLI.
So, how do you know what it is?
Because I saw it in the docs. Oh, interesting. So it's like, oh, that is a real project. Or it's a placeholder project that someone put up so no one takes it.
Oh, next CLI.
Yeah.
Okay, while that's installing, we can just do npx run, what was it, next?
No, npm run build. Were you doing build or dev? No, dev. You want dev. Not npx, npm.
Okay, there's a lag. Chill.
Okay.
npm run build.
Well, you want to do the dev, right? You want to do the local dev?
The console error a second ago said there wasn't a build to start with, so I'm just assuming it needs one at first.
What the hell did that say? Oh, you scrolled up.
Yeah. Okay. So npm run dev.
Uh-oh.
What?
Wasn't running.
I'm gonna clean up my tabs here. Okay. Pin tab. All right, so here's our dev app, and yeah, it's blank. So if we look at the console, I don't know the keyboard shortcuts on Firefox yet, but interesting. Yeah, it's, oh, I might have silenced the error. So the error was coming from, yeah, I remember now. The other night I silenced the error by commenting out some code from the production app, which we want to turn back on eventually. So we should probably go ahead and fix that here.
Some CSS?
Yeah, that's the part that was weird.
Oh, it's like hiding it?
So images. So this caret down SVG exists, but when I turn that back on, let's see what happens. All right, I guess it's running now. Maybe I just needed to do a build.
But the page isn't loading.
Yeah, so that, I think maybe because there isn't data, which was one of our next steps. So it doesn't look like we're fetching the JSON data, and that was probably turned off when I pushed this up to GitHub, because we don't want to reference what's in production up on the CDN for St. Jude. We want to reference our own copy of the JSON data that we host.
Yeah.
So I think I had turned off the data, and it's just silently failing. So let's look and see. Super props. Maybe this is where we left off, you and I, when we last worked on this. Oh, okay, so we're fetching window.location origin/data. Do we have a data folder?
Did we get it running in Next? Or did you just like move the files over but not get it working? No, because we made pages and stuff here.
Yeah.
Look at your
I
index.
remember.
Look at your pages index. Is there a pages index?
Mm-hmm.
Like that should at least be showing.
Well, okay, let's go back to our source code. I'm convinced that this doesn't exist yet. Like we need to copy over the data folder, but wouldn't it give an error? Like unable
Wait,
to find.
did you do the, you did npm run dev, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at the next app, but it's loading that, it's supposed to be loading that pages index file.
Oh, You know what? We may need to go straight to the
URL /2008/marathon. That was the route in there.
Yeah, okay, let's try that. I think it was 2018 /
Yeah.
marathon.
I think we got it loading, the routes loading, but we didn't have the default page loading.
There's our app. Okay. So I guess that console error hasn't come back. So we're good on that. Everything seems to be working. Let's try changing years.
We didn't set that up yet, did we?
Oh no, look at the URL.
But did the data change?
No. Jake Birch, second.
No, I just refreshed it, right?
The data changes.
Oh, it does.
I think we left off with loading the app all under this route, and we didn't actually set up the routes correctly because GitHub Pages wasn't working. So I bet we can do that now. But first, now that we have this running, why don't we get this published onto Versal? And then every time we push to master, we know that our dev environment, our public URL is
did they
refreshing.
automatically republish every time?
Yeah, they hook into GitHub.
I didn't know they did that too. I thought that was a Netlify thing.
No, Versal, yeah, they have full GitHub integration. So we were going to update our dependencies and publish. Okay, so
like the dependency versions?
Yeah, can you see all this okay?
Yeah.
So I believe that the like even the version of Next that we're using is way out of date. I could be wrong.
Yeah, they're on 9.5 point something now. I think 9.5.3.
Okay. I mean, is that significant enough to justify a bump up in retesting?
I think you might as well bump it up. I mean, we're not deep into the app anyway, and I don't think it breaks anything. I think it's just new features. What version of React were you on?
16, 13. Whoa. Okay. I guess when you and I moved the components over to Next, we bumped stuff up. I just remember when the original components were written.
Yeah, so we're not actually. Are we actually running out of that folder? I feel like. Let's look at our pages, and then event whatever, and then that file that we made, that dynamic route, because that will show what we're actually pulling in.
So search component works. Pagination works. Changing the event type. Yeah, that refreshes the results.
Yeah, we just didn't
changing the year.
hook up the year thing, or what?
I think the route is just messed up. So during all of that interaction, the route never changed. Our intention was that the 2018 and slash 2018 slash marathon would dynamically change when you
Yeah,
toggled these.
I think it's because we're still using the state inside the components, and we were going to change it so that it changes the route instead.
Okay. Well,
Let's get
we
to
should
deploying.
fix that, but
Yeah,
I wanna do that later.
let's deploy it first, like you said, so every change from there on out will be automatically pushed.
Okay. Yeah, when these components were originally written, I swore that we were on like a way outdated version of React, but I guess when we moved it to Next, we bumped everything up. So what's the quickest way to update? Is it just npm install next?
npm upgrade. I think it's upgrade or update, one of the two. Try upgrade first. Upgrade's gonna kill me. You know what that's from?
No,
Idiocracy. You ever seen it?
I have not.
Really? You don't need to save.
Nothing,
Did it do
nothing
anything
changed.
to update?
I think it's update.
Okay, try it. You don't need that dash save. I know it's one of those. What's wrong with your npm?
Sudo.
It's definitely not npm install next.
Undate. I guess you don't pass in a specific package name.
I thought you could.
In your project root run and the update command, yeah, there's got to be a way to isolate one package.
They have package name there, but that's a global one.
Yeah. It didn't change. Nothing updated. Or Next didn't update. Oh, well.
Just change the version yourself. Oh, it's because you're on a hard version number.
Oh, yeah, it needs that little caret, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's taking forever.
It just started.
Okay, while that's doing its thing, GitHub needs. So this architecture isn't going to work. This was just meant to be an archive. We need a repo that will plug into Versal. Is that how you say it? Reversal?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did it go? All right, so we need a new repo just for the project we were working on. I'm trying to think. So I was documenting earlier. Ultimately, I want to have like a React interface that can work in isolation of any backend, or, you know, it can be decoupled so that, let's say, a future marathon, like the Chicago Marathon, emailed me and said, hey, we want to use this interface. In theory, they could just download the repo and their backend engineers could plug it into their code base. That was the intent here. So one repo for the UI, and then one repo for the API. And then eventually I wanted to do like a fun project of moving all the React components into native, just to have a native app that's complementary and go through that experience. So I guess that would be a repo too. In this case, would you just create 3 repositories? Results UI, results API, results mobile?
Yep.
Okay. I always hate having GitHub cluttered with like a bunch of projects all under the same end product, you know?
Why? More projects makes you look cooler.
Next 9.5. Okay, now if we're in a child folder of a different repo, how would you solve this problem of moving our UI code into a new repo?
Do you want to keep it in this folder on your computer? Oh no, this whole thing is in a repo already. I would just make a new folder. Well, push it up.
How? Oh, you mean to the original?
No,
So
copy it over to a new folder in your computer, and then you can make it a new Git repo.
well, okay. I guess, hold on, you're right. We should push it up. It can't hurt to have the archived version updated. Let's see. Okay, so we created results UI. The archived directory has an updated UI folder. We want this folder to be its own repo. So you're saying I should
copy it on your local, and then go up outside of the current Git directory, the current Git folder, and then paste it as a new folder. That thing's so tiny. It looks funny.
I know. Hold on. Let me get to where I want to go. I don't really want to broadcast everything. Can I zoom? So they let you zoom to an extent on Apple, but that's as far as it goes.
That's weird. The folders are bigger, but the folder names aren't any bigger. You don't need to zoom on this. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. So I just so what you're saying is create a new empty folder.
No, just copy the UI folder and paste it outside of the Git folder. So in your normal projects folder or wherever you put them.
But that's going to copy the Git files too, right? Like,
no, the Git files were in the root. It was up one folder, wasn't it?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
So this won't have any Git files. So you do a Git init, and then you can just create your new repo, copy the code from GitHub, push it up, and this will already have all your node modules.
Do we have any guests?
Nope.
It says 3 people are on.
Yeah.
Is one of those your TV?
Probably. Lurks is on. Is it a real person? I don't know. Could be a bot.
Lurks? That sounds like something Twitch would make up, but maybe it's a person.
And commander root. Let me see.
Doesn't Twitch assign like randomized names to people that don't have accounts but are viewing?
No, you can't join the chat without signing in.
But anyone can go to your stream.
Anyone can view it, yeah. Oh, somebody left since I said that. It went down a number, but it still shows the same people there, so I don't know. All right, let's open our folder in code.
Okay. That's it. I'm moving source control back over to the sidebar. It is not cooperating.
Let's see if it stays there.
Okay.
And then do a
package.
git init in this folder. And then add everything and commit it. Copy those bottom commands.
Can you paste wholesale like all of these commands? Well, you don't want to because...
Yeah, you can paste all 3. Not all those. You want the bottom ones. Oh, you've got a package lock and a yarn lock in there. Because you ran npm update. What an amateur move.
Look at that.
You called it first commit. Wow, it's quite the project for a first commit.
I copied and pasted what they gave me in the instructions. Don't judge me.
Oh, I'm judging. All right.
Cool.
So now we're ready to put it on now.
Versal,
whatever. Why did they have to change now and their company name? Didn't they change both of them?
Yes.
That's so confusing.
Enter the URL.
Oh, because you can only publish deploy. You can only deploy public projects.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen this new experience they have? I guess you haven't if you haven't deployed
I
it.
haven't even seen the old one.
They do a lot of fancy stuff. I don't know how much of it is useful for what I'm doing, but they like try to immediately detect everything in your package JSON and then run a deployment for you without any configuration or setup. All I had to do was punch in my Git repo. We'll see if it works. Visit. Oh yeah, you gotta go to /2018/marathon. Boom. We're on Versal.
Just like that.
Okay, so let's see how streamlined this is. I should be able to. Where's my header component?
Open the pages, the route that we made. I want to see it real quick.
I want to test out the deployments and see if Versal is automated.
They really enjoy deploying your app for you. Results UI Pi. Did you write that or did they make that?
No, they made that up.
That's cute.
Where's deployments? Oh, it's building.
I like their interface better than Netlify. I wonder if I can deploy my Netlify CMS app on now.sh instead.
You won't have a CMS. Versal doesn't give you an admin interface for writing.
No, I'm using Netlify CMS, and
are you asking if you can deploy the CMS to Versal?
No. So my app uses Netlify CMS. That is running in the next app, but it's using Netlify CMS identity, and I wonder if I actually need to have it deployed on their domain for identity to work, because it loads some scripts, and those scripts, I think, are what runs the admin. I wonder if it'll run on here instead. I should check that out before my presentation, because that is a question worth knowing the answer to.
Would you like to tell the stream about your upcoming presentation?
No.
Oh, man. Oh, I have to run a next build every time.
It should do that for you when it
Should it?
deploys. Yeah. Doesn't it go down in the build logs?
Yeah, running yarn run build.
Are you sure you're looking on the latest URL or the latest build, or maybe it takes a second to kick in?
Okay, this is the latest URL it gave me. 2018/marathon. It shouldn't say Memphis.
Did you do a hard refresh?
How do you hard refresh in Firefox?
I don't think you edited the right file. Look at go back to our source code and then go into pages and to the dynamic page, event year. Yeah, and there. We have it hard coded in here. This is the file that it's rendering right now. That other source app is just your old code. So you would need to change it here.
Okay, but it's still importing the...
Is this importing the original header?
I thought so. Import header ... components. Something's not right.
It goes up a couple folders and then to header.
Well,
it's not going into the source folder. That's weird.
Oh, it's going up here.
See, we're copying our components over. Told you. I found out you can actually put your stuff in a source folder in NextJS. It'll automatically pick it up if you move your pages folder there.
Hmm. But do you need that extra level of depth in your architecture with the next app? Like, do you need a source folder? If
I like it because I don't want my components folder being way up top up there, right? I normally go to a source folder to look for it. Like, we just totally missed it because we have a source folder and we thought it belonged in there.
Yeah. I would rather just not have the source folder.
Yeah, I like the source folder.
How much work is it then? I don't want to be on the fence, like some stuff out of the source and some stuff in it. How much work would it be to...
I'm not saying you should do it, because we're converting you have our source folder right now, and it's our old app. We're converting it over. So I'm just saying, if I was writing it from scratch, I would put it in there.
Gotcha.
Did you push it up? Is it deploying? Uh-oh. Did you freeze? Did I freeze? Do we all freeze? For ice cream? Hobbs is frozen, guys. Habez, I mean. Sounds Spanish. It's definitely you, man. Yep. He's busted. He's frozen. There he goes. He's gone now. Give it a second. Wait for him to come back. Didn't this happen last time? We said that was because it would React Native, though. Because of the native stuff running on his computer. He claimed like it crashed or froze his computer, but maybe his laptop died. Well, can I get some drops in the chat? Just kidding. We don't have drops. That'd be nice, though. He says his internet's down. Let's take a 30-second break. Oof, that was intense, right? I don't know. I wonder how long it'll be before he comes back. I guess I can share my screen and we can look at that. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Beep, 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 beep. So I've got a NextJS app myself, which I'm currently deploying on. Oh, hold on, let me fix that. I'm currently deploying on Netlify because I'm using Netlify CMS. And I'm wondering if I deploy it on Versal, will it still do I even have a Versal account? I don't think I do. If I deploy it on Versal, will it still allow me to use the Netlify CMS admin stuff. With an email address that is already associated with a personal account. Okay. Yeah, let's link them. I didn't know I had an account. That's interesting. Import project, continue. So I've got this URL here. Paste it in. Is this your personal GitHub account? What? Yes, it's my personal. I mean, do my personal? This is weird. Only the selected repositories. NextJS. Read access to emails. I thought that meant like my Gmails for a second. I was like, what? Okay. Password has been confirmed. npm run build or next build, output directory, NextJS defaults. I mean, should I take their? I want run export, and I want out. You can assure that it will match up. See, I don't think this is going to work because I feel like it needs the Netlify identity. In order for that to work, I have to enable that on the Netlify app. But I wonder if I host the app on a different domain. So a routes manifest? Copying. That doesn't look right at all. Let's try it again. I don't know why this wouldn't work unless I can just use go back to their default commands, but these are the commands that I'm using on my Netlify deploy. It's doing my pre-build. There we go. Well, no. All right, let's go to their defaults and see if that works. It calls next build. That's weird. Let's open the dashboard. And then how do I want to visit the site? Here it is. This is the one that I'm going to be showing off. It's working. Okay. So if I now I'm freezing. There we go. So can I go to /admin here? Failed to load config.yaml. I wonder if that is because of the rerouting it does. Let's try the HTML. There we go. Yep. No .netlify/identity. And I wonder if that's just because this is not a Netlify server. So Netlify deploys a .netlify/identity file when I enable it. It probably sends the deploy with it. And since this doesn't have it, you can't read it. But let's try if I deploy it to a different one. I don't have that one up right now. I deleted the demo one that I had running. So a new site from GitHub. It's authorized. Let's do NextJS. npm run export and take the out. I don't need any advance. Deploying the site. Oh, let's enable the identity and stuff. Enable identity. I'm getting emails like crazy right now for, oh, hey, you logged in with GitHub. Oh, hey, you created a new app. Oh, hey. I went too far. This is an ad provider, GitHub, and enable Git gateway. Okay, and then back to my overview and the deploy. Okay, let's refresh this real quick. I don't think it's gonna work. No. Okay, but it will work on here. See, works fine there. All right, so you can't use Netlify identity on another domain. That's kind of a bummer. But what I could do is I could deploy any kind of app to, make a separate admin application for my site. You log into this on Netlify, wherever that is, and then when you make a change, it updates my repo, and that kicks off a build, and it runs the build to my Netlify app. The benefit of doing that is I could actually use like the API/hello, but I actually don't have it here. But I could make it work. I can make it work on here. Neutron will come back. Let me go back. Let me dump this thing. I don't need it anymore. Take it to the danger zone. He says he's on. Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Could you not hear me earlier? I was chiming in.
No, when you join, I have to add you to the stream.
Okay.
That's why I
So
told you. That's why I told you to text me when you're back, so I can know, because I was sharing my screen and I can't see. I can't hear you until I add you to the stream.
okay. My bad. My internet went down for some random reason, but I'm back and ready to go. I was watching you this whole time doing the Netlify test.
Could you hear me? Could you hear what I was saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it didn't work.
Yeah, I think StreamYard like blocks me from communicating or contributing until you add me.
Yeah, until I add it to the stream. That's
But
what I'm
it
saying.
lets me
Watch.
like yeah, it like brings me in as a like a read only mode. Like I can hear you and watch. I can chat to you in the chat, but I can't like control anything on the screen or say anything.
Yeah, I gotta let. That's in case anyone gets a hold of that URL. They can't just join on live stream and start talking. You know.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense.
yeah. All right.
Okay.
You ready to share again?
Yeah, let's do it. Um,
Yeah, I like. So I can actually. I can make a whole separate admin that is deployed to Netlify and just do the admin site there. And then whenever it rebuilds, Versal can deploy it. If that was something I wanted to do, I could do that.
yeah, that stinks that Netlify doesn't let you use other domains, but
It's a lock-in.
yeah,
But I
makes
mean,
sense.
maybe they're doing some stuff under the hood. I think they're doing a lot of code management under the hood for you. So that's why it has all this extra stuff in it. Okay, adding your screen. So why is there so many? Is each deployment gets its own URL, or why is there so many URLs?
Yeah, Versal, the team is all about immutability. Every deployment, every push to master branch gives you a new URL. I don't really like it. I think it's overkill, but I get it. I get why they do it. I wish they could just refresh one URL, but
Well, you
it's
got
a
to have like
versioning
a
thing.
base URL, right? Or no? Is that the base URL there?
There's a base URL, results UI pi Versal.
Okay, so that's like
So
the app URL. So that's always the latest version.
yeah, but then okay, I guess this could be useful if you wanted to push up or refer back to an old version.
That's the only
Heroku,
benefit, is referring to back to an old version, because if you could, push it up, test it out, and then say, okay, serve traffic to the latest version, then that would be cool. But if it does that automatically, then what's the point of the old versions?
yeah, Heroku did something like this with branches, which I really enjoyed. If you wanted to push up a feature branch, it gave it a special URL, but the master branch didn't have this in Heroku. Um, and in that case, it was useful the way Heroku did it, because if you wanted to have an experimental feature that you could A/B test, you could push up to a feature branch and point to that URL.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this is just Versal being immutable. All right, let's get back.
Immutable deployments.
Let's get back into where we were. Okay, so we have deployed. Oh, I was going to get a custom domain.
Nah, you should do that on
But
your own.
yeah, I'll do that offline or off stream. Dependencies have been updated. No more console error. Okay, now we're getting into extra credit for the stream. So
Extra credit.
yeah, stuff that we didn't really.
I'm surprised it took us that long to deploy it. I thought it was going to be like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Hold on, I'm going to go grab a snack. Be right back.
Okay. Well, while he does that, yarn start. Yarn dev. I want to move our components and everything out of the source folder. I don't like having some stuff out of it and some stuff inside it. And I feel like it would be
all
easier.
That stuff in the source folder is our old code, though. We've been moving over. All the new stuff is in that components folder up top. We've been copying it over.
Our old code is archived on GitHub.
No, the SRC folder is the old code. We have to convert it to use NextJS, and that's why we were moving it over.
Right, but what I'm saying is now that we have two repos and one that we updated just 30 minutes ago with making sure the UI code runs, this archived folder has the SRC and everything. It has the current architecture state working. So why can't we just delete the components folder that's under SRC if Next is already using the one that's outside of SRC anyway? You with me?
Why can't we what?
It feels like this components folder under SRC is redundant, like everything's already been copied over and we just didn't get around to deleting it.
So you want to delete it? You're saying?
Yes. Yeah. I think we can clean up the SRC folder.
Yeah, but you don't know that. I mean, are you just going to delete it and see what happens, or?
Yeah. I mean, we've already been testing the app and it's using the folder, the components outside of SRC, and the search works.
Okay.
Pagination works and the dropdowns work, and that's the only functionality. There's also this cool mobile card feature.
Cute.
So let's delete this components folder and see what happens. First off, all the files are the same. Okay.
The sound of your mechanical keyboard sounds like rain on the roof of my house.
What's the keyboard shortcut in Firefox for console? Ah, there it is. Command K. Okay. Of course. In Chrome, it's Command Alt J, and in Firefox, it's Command Alt K. They're like, how can we do what Chrome does, but one step over?
Was Command Alt J already taken, or why are they even doing it differently?
It's not doing anything. Command Alt J in Firefox does nothing. I mean, maybe it does something, but it's not obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, we got rid of the components folder, cleaned that up, and it's still working.
The CSS files are being pulled in still from there?
Animation index, fonts.
Oh, we
It's
have
copied.
a CSS folder too.
Yeah. Let's try deleting that. Whoa, we're getting an error. It's still rendering, but prop ID did not match server React select 6 client. Oh, there's a mismatch of one of my dependencies. Have you seen this before?
I kind of feel like we did something like that before, and it's because of the hot reloading. I think.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ignore that for now and keep moving things over. So fonts, image.
So you're basically moving everything out of the SRC folder.
Yeah. I mean, does it require configuration for next pages and stuff to be inside the SRC? Is that going to break the build?
If you move the pages in there or what?
Yeah.
You're going to need to update the pages components to point to the new URLs, but otherwise, no, it wouldn't break the build. But why would you do that? Why would you move that into source and then move everything else out?
No, I was going to say, I thought this way was easier than moving everything into SRC. I don't need both. I don't want some of the code outside and some of it inside SRC. Like our components was being referenced from outside, but then images.
Just move it all out. It's fine.
Okay.
One way or the other.
Does Next download with an SRC folder?
Does it what?
Does Next auto-generate, like if you do from the command line, like a new Next project?
No, it doesn't start with one.
There's no SRC. So app and everything can just live outside. Don't forget to hydrate.
I know I ate these like these chocolate covered peanuts, and all the little peanut chunks are like lodged in my throat now.
Something's up with the styling.
Oh, you mean the CSS files you deleted?
Yep.
No, we didn't change this at all. As long as you move them over, it should be fine. But you mean like stuff's missing, or what? What do you mean something's up with it?
No, maybe my console was messing me up. No, it looks good.
Good.
Okay. We cleaned up the redundant code.
Well, you don't need like the app index and service worker, right?
What do you mean?
You don't need those
Oh,
files.
because it's under pages, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's our other page, yeah. So app can be gone. The app.js file you have in the root, and the index.js in the root. What are those? Those are your old files, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But so
No,
this
not the, yeah, those main ones.
right? No, I'm just saying. Hold on here.
That app.js is what our event year / subfile. We've moved it over.
Right, but these two aren't identical.
Right. But the event year subfile,
Oh yeah, okay.
that's what it matches up with. So we don't need that app.js anymore.
Okay, so everything should be one-to-one. Okay, delete this. I guess we have backups in the archived Git repo. So if anything didn't get copied over when we last worked on this, we can go back later and figure out what's missing.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to be missing anything.
And the service worker,
no, delete
I
it.
don't know why.
That's from Create React App.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know why that exists because I would have
And
known if I'd created that.
delete your package lock or yarn lock. Decide which one you want to keep. And send the other one to the grave.
Off with his head. Okay.
Do a yarn command too. That'll update the yarn lock. Nope. No, just yarn to install the dependencies again.
Oh, I see what you mean. So should we try and figure out where we left off on this routing?
Um,
Got like 20 minutes left.
yeah.
I think that the intention for the functionality was each drop-down item would have a route. And
Yeah, when you change it, it should reroute you. And then that
where
route
did,
will reload all the data for us.
okay. Where did we, do you remember what we decided to do with search? Like if I search Chris
I think
or
it
Willie,
should change the URL eventually, but
would that just be like a query param on what's up there?
yeah.
Okay, but we don't have to have that right away. We can first just work on these drop downs, right?
Yeah, that's a separate feature.
My commit messages are so bad when it's just me on the project. It's like updates, updates, updates.
And you still do it anyway. You still just do it and say, oh, they're so bad. We didn't change anything visually, right? You wouldn't be able to notice the difference in a deploy.
Right, but it should be building. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, that's building. Git checkout dash B. Fix routing.
You want to make a new branch for it? You don't think we'll get it done in time or what?
Yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic that we'll get it working tonight, but if we run into some speed bump or something, I don't want to leave off, or I don't want to wrap up on a unfinished master branch. Now that we've actually got deployments and stuff going. Okay, yarn dev, and then pages. Explain to me, update me on the next architecture. So every page is a route?
Every file is a route. So event year, the brackets means it's a dynamic route. And the brackets event type, so it's event year, that will come in as like params.event year, and then event type will come as like, you know, marathon, half marathon, etc. But we want to make it so when we change one of those drop downs, instead of re-rendering the state, we want to reroute it. And then that new route will automatically load the correct state for us because this is all using the same component.
Okay. So I think I remember seeing something, yeah, export async, get static paths. We hard coded this.
Oh, we never made a. So we could Do we have our data? Where's our data stored?
That should be up at the top here. Fetch data. So
we put it in the public folder, huh?
Yep, we did.
Okay.
So year and event type. So like 2018, and then the JSON folder or file.
I would make a script that goes through and reads all of those, unless you want to hard code them. I would read all of the files in that directory, and then we can generate routes from that.
Okay.
So you can use, since this is like a node, it can run a node, you can use like process.cwd to get the current directory, and then, scan all the files. That's basically what you want to do. And then build that into an array. And then we can generate our URLs from that.
Okay, hold on. So in this event type JS, we're able to run node commands in these files.
You're running in Node when you run get static paths.
Right. So, but we should create like a script outside of our public, or I'm sorry, outside of our pages folder, just like a script in the root directory, right?
Well, it's up to you how you want to build it. That's what in my new demo, I built a pre-build script that would do it, and it would copy all of those. Basically, would read all those files, and then you can generate like a JSON just of information pointing to where all those files live.
Okay. So I guess we can say copy data or clone. Let's call it data routes.js. And this will be a node script that will.
I would put it in your public. Well, no. Sorry, the file we're going to generate. I'll put it in your public. Never mind. Yeah, so data routes.
And this is going to loop over the data folder under our public folder and generate a route for every file.
Yeah. I would just try to get that into an array format. So then.
Okay. All right, I'm in new territory here. So first, const. What are we going to say?
They have a little snippet on somewhere on the NextJS site. I would look in there and copy it. Search for. Yeah, I can't remember in the docs where I saw it.
Dynamic routes?
Maybe. Yeah, and then look through there for some code where they try to go through grabbing files.
Multiple dynamic route segments work the same way. The pages/post/PID/comment will match the route and its query object. Catch all routes. Dynamic routes can be extended to catch all paths by adding.
No, it's none of that. Keep going.
Optional catch-all routes. Caveats.
No.
Imperatively. What's this?
That's not it. That's
okay. API routes.
okay,
Oh, that's not going to be it.
Take a look around. I'm gonna look around on their site too and see if I can find it. It might be on the data fetching page.
Dynamic API routes, API routes.
I think it is.
Injecting the router?
Yeah, go to data fetching and then go down to reading files, use process.cwd. It's like the third or fourth big header. And then that bigger snippet there, that's what they're doing. Look down at the get static props.
This function gets called at build time on server side. It won't be called on client side, so you can even do direct database queries. See the technical details section. So hold on, let me get up to speed with where you are. Files can be read directly from the file system in get static props. In order to do so, you have to get the full path of a file. Since NextJS compiles your code separately, you can't use dir name as the path that will return. Okay, but where are they recommending we put this file?
Scroll down to the get static props. That code inside of there is what we want.
Right.
Most of that.
So they don't care or they don't have a suggestion for where to put it, just in the root directory, I guess?
This is just an example. So just that code inside of there, copy it inside of the function.
Right, okay. And we'll rename this. Data directory path. It's going to be.
That should be public/data.
I feel like the stream is lagging behind. Like I'm maybe a couple seconds ahead of you.
Yeah, I'm watching on Twitch so I can see the screen.
Oh, okay.
So it's behind, but I can hear your audio in real time. So this is a little bit different because we're not hitting files directly in that first time. We're reading, I wonder if that comes back with folder names or not. Because we want the file names. Can you delete that return props whole thing, that bottom part? We don't need that. And after on line 3, can you console log file names? And you also need to copy over their imports, the path and the FS.
Oh, yeah. So we've got this const that we're never using because we deleted that posts object.
We'll get to that. You can comment that stuff out for now if you want.
This whole block.
Yeah.
Okay. Console log. Are we just going to run node data routes?
Yup. And let's see what it spits out. Does it give us the directories?
Import.
Got to change them to requires.
Yeah. You can use const, right? Const.
Yeah.
Path equals required. Folder names.
Boom. All right. So you want to loop through each of those. And is the files in the next level or what's in the folder?
Yeah. So then there's event type. So like 5K, half marathon,
Okay.
marathon. Yeah. The deepest it goes is year and then data. But do we want to create an array for the years and a separate one for the data under that?
I think we should just turn it into an array structure like the way the folder structure is right now.
Okay, so our array of strings will be like 2017 / marathon.
No, it'll be array of objects and then, well, uh-oh, I heard a yawn.
Hey man, I lose my glass slipper right at 11.
So I think data could be an object that has the keys of the years, and then each of the years is an array of all the file names. I don't know. What do you want to do? How do you want to structure it? I would probably start like that. Or, well, yeah, because not all years have all the races.
Correct. Yeah, it varies. So like 08, there wasn't a 10K. 2010, no 10K. But then like
Are the name? How come some are underscore and some are dashed?
just poor file structure. It's not intentional.
Okay. We do want to make sure all those file names match our dropdown. Or we can generate our dropdown values from this. Is that what you want to do?
That would be nice. Yeah, because one of my goals for this was to make it as configurable and reusable as possible. And I was hoping that ideally we could get to a state where anyone can pull down the repo and just pass in a folder of JSON.
Yeah.
And all the table data populates, all the routes populate, and everything from that one folder. So in the README, we could just tell consumers of the project, like, all you need to boot up is a data folder, and here's how to structure it. And it would just be years with events. So yeah, if they could pull this down and plug in that data folder and then it runs, that's the goal. But to do that, yeah, we need dynamic routes based on all the data, and we need the dropdowns populated from the data.
Okay, so in our data routes file, I would loop over all of those items, all of the folders, or map over all of them, and then inside of that map over all the files in that folder, and just return that for each year. And then you can set that all in your big object.
My great big object.
How does that sound?
I think I follow along. I guess I could use a visual here. So like, what is our end output going to look like?
Why don't we just write it? What do you mean, what's it going to look like? Oh, I see. What is the data structure going to look like?
Yeah.
So it would be an object. Just do it. Don't do it in there, because it's going to be a bitch to format. Just write it without comments, and then you can comment it out after.
Okay, fine. I just need one sample of what we're trying to get to.
Yeah, but this will format it for us.
Oh no. In VS Code, how do you set the language type?
I usually do it in the bottom right. I don't know. Do command. I don't know. I just meant do it in that file. Do it in the data routes file. I don't know why you made a new file.
Fine. Don't save. Okay, an object of
The year would be the key.
wait. It's not going to be an array of objects?
No. No, the year number would be the key. No.
Okay, so like 2018.
No, the key itself would be 2018.
I don't know what you're wanting me to type.
Make the key 2018. Type 2018. Yes, and then that will be an array. Or it could be an object. I say we start with an array. And then that would be, each of the values would be each of the files.
Okay, so 2018 we had 5K run. Is it going to be .json or?
No, I think we'll leave the JSON off and just assume it's a JSON. We'll generate the
Okay.
URL and know that it's a JSON. Because these will be our like our event fields drop down, right? The values for our event drop down. And that's it.
Okay, so this is what our routes will, this is what our end result is going to look like when we run the node script. It'll create a JSON object like this.
Yeah. I say we start like this. I'm sure we'll end up changing it at some point.
I think 2017 had all the same stuff. 5K, 10K, half, full. 5K, 10K. Okay. So you were saying earlier, we want to map over FS read directory. So data directory is public data. And that's going to contain all of our years. So data directory dot map.
File names. I would change it to folder names because we know the first level is our folder names.
Oh, yeah. Folder names dot map.
This is where we want to reduce. You want to write a reduce?
If you help me.
Yeah, let's do a reduce.
Hold on, don't tell me. The parameters, isn't it? It's like first item, index, and counter or something?
No. It's going to be our final output and then the current item or next item. I don't know what they call it.
Accumulator. And then current value.
Yeah, they call it the accumulator, but that's just our final value. So I wouldn't call it accumulator. Call it
Counter?
Just like data. And instead of current value, say year, event year. Okay, and then after, on line 10, after closing curly brace, to comma, and then put an empty object. That's our default initial value. So data will start out as an empty object. And then, first thing in our callback, do return data. Well, that'll be the last thing. But it's also the first thing right now, too. Because whatever we return from this callback is what gets passed as data in the next iteration. So that's our accumulating value. All right, so before that, we want to copy down the code they do below. So actually, we want to copy line 4 and 5 and paste that in the beginning of our callback.
But then what's this going to be?
What's what going to be?
So 4 and 5 are...
I know, we're going to change it.
Okay.
No, don't cut it. Copy it. We still want the old one.
My bad. Okay.
Okay, and then data directory, instead of public/data, just pass the event year. So that's going to look into the event year folder. And then that's going to give us all of the file names. So instead of folder names on line 9, change that to file names again. And then now we want that big commented out chunk below. We want to copy that and move it into our callback. Okay. And then, so that's going to filter over all of the file names. It's going to grab that file. It's going to grab the file contents. And then it's going to return the file name and the contents. We don't actually want the contents. Actually, we just want the file names. So we don't need the file path or the file contents inside of it.
Inside this return?
Yeah. We just want to return the updated name without the .json.
Okay. So is that going to be inside of data? Oh, wait, okay, so we're inside of result data.
Yeah, we want to be in result data. Instead of returning an object, just return file name. And do...
Oh, like a string?
You want to remove the .json off of there. So I do just like file name dot replace. And I do a regex.
Where do you want your regex?
Instead of the .json, delete that. And do /. No string. Making me sneeze. /. .json $/. So do you know what that means? Do you know how to read that?
Sort of. I know // is like how you open up a regex command. Everything after this is going to be what it's testing.
Yeah, so the /, normally a dot is any character, so the / is saying escape this character, meaning explicitly a dot, like a period. And then it matches JSON, and the $sign means, and it has to be at the end of the string. Just in case for some reason someone names the file .json or something, you know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So that should be good. You can drop off line 12 and 13. We don't need that. The only other thing I would do is I would do a check to see if the file name ends with .json and ignore anything that is not. So before the return.
Right, so like.
And that one you could do it the easier way. I would just do if file name dot ends with. And then you just do a .json string.
If not, file name dot return.
Yeah. Excellent. And then return. So because we could get a result where there would be no data, you want to filter those down. So on line 14, after the closing parenthesis, do a dot filter. And pass in Boolean, capital B.
Okay, now what does this do?
So that's going to filter down all of them for anything truthy, which should be anything that returned a value. So if it doesn't end with JSON, it's going to return undefined, and then it will be filtered out when we do that. And then our result data. So after, on the next line, we want to do data bracket event year equals result data.
Data bracket event year.
Not in the return, before the return.
Data bracket event year equals what?
Result data.
That's right.
That's right. And then if you console log out, oh, actually, up on line 7, we need to save that result to some variable. And then console log it out, and let's see if it works.
No such file or directory.
We have to prefix it with the public data on line 8. Because I was thinking we were already in that folder, but we're not.
You have to prefix it with?
Prefix the event year with public/data. So it's public/data/ whatever the event year is.
Also, I don't know if we installed FS and Path.
Those are node packages.
Okay, but we don't have to have them in our node modules. They're already there.
They're part of node.
Cool.
There it is. All right, so you need to save that out to a file. And I would save that to your public data directory. So do like public/data/routes or whatever you want to call it, .json. And then we can just import that JSON file.
Okay. Isn't it going to be something like fs.write?
I don't know. I always look it up. It's not .write. You should look it up. Pretty sure it's like write file sync or something. You want the sync version. I would say write to a JSON file because we're going to end up writing it as JSON, and you need to also stringify it.
You need to stringify the object. So fs write file sync.
Yeah, just copy that.
We're wanting to save it to public.
Public / data / whatever you want to call it. And instead of doing // drop the dot, and you should do that the way we're getting the path up above.
Oh, yeah.
Path join. Yeah, we should do that for it. And you pass in process.cwd and then the string. And drop off that first /. And that should write it.
Boom.
There it is. So now I would add this as a pre-build script, and then you can just import this into your project. That's what I was doing.
Okay. What is this file called? Add data-routes.js to pre-build.
No, let's do it right now. It takes 2 seconds.
Okay.
Go to your npm scripts. And then add a script before build. Say pre-build, all one word. And then you're going to run the node command.
We are 21 minutes past our stream.
What do you mean? past our stream.
Our normal streaming time is 2 hours, right?
It's only been going for 2 hours and 16 minutes.
Oh. Yeah,
We
I guess
go
we started.
around 2 hours. We shoot for 2 hours, but we're done there. Yeah, next time we can pick up on actually pulling in the routes and doing whatever, but I just wanted to get that in there. So now if you run npm run build, it will do that pre-build and then it will build. So if you ever add a new file, it'll automatically regenerate that file and automatically have the new data for us.
Cool, cool. Okay.
But I would save all that, commit it. It's good to go. And then next time we can pick up using all those routes and generating the different drop-down values. So they're reading from the files.
I'm excited.
Are you? Are you really, though? Plus, you were gone for like 16 minutes. You remember?
Yeah. Great. Okay.
All right.
Good progress. So, wait, what was the we added the data routes to the pre-build script, but what was the other step? Actually generating the routes using that snippet they have, right?
Yeah, we generated the routes. Are you going to add something and then immediately move it over to done?
I was just going to create a to-do for where we left off.
For the next one, or?
Yeah. Well, just because we have the JSON in our public routes doesn't mean it's going to run yet. Like, Next won't pick that up.
Yeah, our next step is to generate the random, or show the generated routes, I guess. But you have fixed, that's part of fixed routing for /your event.
Yeah, good point.
That's already in progress. That would be where we'd pick up.
Okay. All right.
All right, then.
Oh, no, wait, there was an error. Not a directory. Public data routes.json.
Yarn
Yeah.
run? Oh, yarn run build. What is this? Are you trying to import the file somewhere?
No.
Let's see our build script again.
Routes.json.
Oh, it's because we added it into the data folder and now it's trying to look into that directory. So our script should be ignoring that file.
What's looking into that directory?
The folder names Before it was all just folders. Now we have that file in there. It's trying to go into that directory as a route.json.
Oh.
So inside our folder names, just do like a if event year dot ends with dot JSON, then return. So we just skip it. Yeah, and don't do the exclamation point in front of it. You want to check if it's true. Yep. And then save that. I think that should fix it. Wow, even using the same commit message?
For now.
You are dedicated.
Okay. Building. I'm going to go ahead and assume that works.
No way, let's see.
I'm so sleepy.
You're fine, buddy. You're the one who wanted to look at the build. It's your fault. Click into the build. Let's read it. Let's read it live.
React Ion icons has unmet dependency.
Yeah, it passed it. Okay.
Boom. Visit.
So you should be able to hit that file on there.
Oh, so like slash routes.
Slash data slash routes.
No, I thought that we shortened it.
No, it's in the data. Uh-oh. Is it not a valid JSON file? Open the file. Do you run it again locally? Run npm run pre-build.
It's yarn, right?
Either one. If we're running it, it doesn't matter. It only matters if we're doing the install.
Oh, undefined. What did you do?
Let me see the code again. Let's see the pre-build or the data routes. Did you remove the exclamation point?
Yes. This is still going to loop over the nested files, isn't it?
No, because if the event year, it would be routes.json. If it ends with .json, then it should return. Oh, we want to return data. All right, one more commit.
Why? Okay, explain to me how you came to that conclusion.
Because we return undefined, and since it's our accumulator, the next round it would be undefined.
So if we return data, it'll just be an empty JSON object, or an empty value for that file that passed the test.
That's why it returned it as saved it as undefined. Should have fixed the routes file before you pushed it up, but whatever.
Ta-da. Whoa, already ready. Boom, pretty JSON.
That's terrible. Looks like YAML.
It does. I can't remember if this is a plugin I accidentally installed or if Firefox does this.
Yeah, they might do that at the box, huh?
Oh well, it works.
Cool.
And then we can go to 2018/marathon, and our app still works. All right, stopping place.
Stopping place. Oh, I thought that rank was like age at first, and I was like, a 13-year-old? Dude, come on, you can't go back there. You know that's going to happen.
What
All
are you
right.
talking about?
Well, good job there. We made some decent progress. We deployed it. We've got our little build script going on, which is cool. So next time we would need to working on getting those routes going.
I'm excited.
Okay. All right. Well,
Did anyone tune in? Did we get any streamers, or was tonight?
I mean, nobody
Yeah.
commented, but there might have been people who popped in and out here and there. When was the last night we streamed? Was that on Sunday night or was that Friday night?
Friday.
Friday. Well, we'll see you again on Friday. Maybe more people are around, you know.
You got to start getting up early.
Getting up early for this? I don't think so.
That's how we get more fans.
Are you more efficient in the morning? You think you could code faster?
Yeah, I think so. I think I could go longer before needing a break.
You mean like more than 2 hours?
I would say in the evenings, I naturally go to get sleepy around 11. So when we're streaming at this hour, like an hour and 30 minutes in, I really start to shut down.
Yeah.
And then for the last 30 minutes of these streams, I'm kind of coasting.
Are you? I didn't notice it.
Anyway, let's wrap up the live stream.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, strangers. Thanks for lurking. We'll see you on Friday. All right. Love you. Bye.